Okay, so van life review video finally. Mom, what do you think about van life?
I'm ready to stop it.
That's about right. Well, let's see here. I like that we have the space to sleep in two separate areas. So most people think this is a lifestyle for them without getting in it. And if you like people coming up to your house at all hours of the day for stupid things, this is for you. As you could tell, bad side of van life is just people running up into your space and invading your privacy, basically. And so you don't really have that problem living in a house. No one's trying to come up to you in a house and go, hey, can I see you inside your house? So that's a lot to get used to. That being said, this is our Van Go. As you can see, it's very colorful, very artistic, and we love, absolutely love, the ability to have seating here. As you can see, I tried to make a love seat happen, but as we did this, it became very uncomfortable. So I have a thermarest that's kind of folded here. I have my pillows and blankets, and all of this stuff is basically a storage area for my bedding. When I'm not sleeping in it, I have to grab all this stuff and put it back here like this. And that can be a hassle. So if you're looking for these pop-up tops, these cushions right here are not very comfortable. So I had to get a top. Now, this is my bunk. I'll start here. I have plenty of space up here to sleep and move around. I've even done yoga up here, which is really nice, especially when I can't sleep at night. I've been doing a lot of yoga instead. The downside about the top is temperature. You cannot control the temperature once the top's up. It becomes very, very hard to keep warm in here. But the cool thing about it is that I have these right here, which are like little survival blanket kind of things that I stuff underneath my bedding and under my sheets, and that keeps me really warm, kind of radiates the heat back to me. These flaps can kind of stay open or shut. I also have these little buttons here. They just flap down, if you can see. You just go boop, boop, and they just fold down like that, which is really nice. Now, as for storage, I'm kind of using the top part for my clothes, and I've yet to do my laundry today. It's a lot to clean this thing. But it's cool because that way when I do pop top, it kind of pancakes my clothes down, which is really, really convenient because it makes it nice and easy to fold. So this is the top area. I have some lighting up there, as you can see. If I want to read something, I can. And yeah, so this is my space that's separate from my mother's space, which is very, very, very convenient. And I have these beautiful, beautiful views of Sedona and wherever we are, which is great. And underneath the love seat is our solar system here, as you can see. And underneath that is all of the wiring. Underneath that is our batteries. We have some storage space as well. My computer bag, our trash bag, our cooler, which is really easy to get to, which is what I like. Behind this, we've been just trying to stay warm with these simple little car flap thingies, these windshield visors, which are great. We also have some for the front. These ones work really well for the front windows, and you're really wanting to get stuff like that because all of your cold air is going to be going through all your windows. Here's our space for our crystals for the time being. We have a little bit more space up here for our storage. This is the cockpit, of course. R.I.P. Charles. Wherever I go, you go, buddy. And we have some coat hangers. I just kind of reduced a lot of our clothes and stuff like this and put them back in the back here. Let's move on to the kitchen. I still have some dishes to do, which isn't much, which is I like because that's about as much dishes as anybody wants to do, really. It's just a couple. It's a simple pump system. So you just tap the pump, it comes out like that. And I have this here because our magnets broke. Been getting a little too ham on the roads out here. So this is our kitchen. And you're actually going to be surprised at how well we did this. This was the hardest part about the van, was getting enough space in here. So for the kitchen system, we have a 5-gallon water drum for water, and then gray water, which is fun because I just get to go water some plants afterwards, which is great. And it's very easy to fill up. You just go fill that up. Here's our stove, which is a $20 Walmart stove, and it just takes these simple little butane fuel canisters you get at Walmart for like $2, which is pretty nice. I got a whole bin full of them back there. And this is our utensils. So I have a blender and an oven, which is really nice. If I wanted to make some pizza or something, I can. I'm usually making smoothies more than anything else. We've used our oven a couple of times, but we have mostly been eating out because it's just such a hassle to cook in here. We have our utensils, just basic necessities of what you need: forks, knives, spoons, things like that. All of our towels and things of that nature over here. Now, another great feature in the van is a diesel heater right here. So this diesel heater, that's our cat food. This diesel heater is connected to the engine, and we have a little thermostat that's right up here. You just press that there, and once you've turned on the engine for a little while, it takes the warm air from the engine, and then it separates the diesel exhaust from that, and there's a little motor underneath the seat that pulls all the warm air out. It's pretty nice. It gets pretty roasty in here, so it makes up for the top not being able to be very warm. Other than that, we have our bathroom section, cat box. This is a very small bathroom, but that's okay. We have it set up to where you could use it as a shower. We have a little drain plug here that just pops out like that, which is great. Also, if you wanted to clean it, you can just kind of spray it all down and wash it out. We had to get a custom fabricator to custom make this steel bedpan for the van. Now, we wanted to go with the bathroom and shower because we didn't want to have the disadvantage of not being able to have a shower and go to the bathroom, which can be kind of hard if you're out in the backcountry. This is our composting toilet. It's pretty easy to use. Separates the urine and the feces, things like that. It even has a little mixing handle. And the great part, you can't smell anything because we've drilled the hole to the outside of the van here, and it's got a little motorized fan, so it just pulls out all the stench out that way, so you can't smell anything in here, which is really nice. This is our fridge. We like this kind of fridge because it opens directly up like this. So as you can see, we still have some food we have to still eat, but it's great because that way the cold air stays in. Some of those fridges that open out this direction, you're losing a lot of your temperature, which is not that great. Here's our pantry. No. It's pretty much full, as you can see. So we have really not eaten much of this food, only like late at night when I'm hungry, things like that. And then we also have our other cabinet. So we have our spices, our supplements, different things like that, med cabinets. And yeah, so under here I have all of my supplements. These are literally all supplements, and then in here is cat food. And this is our storage area. So how we made this bed is we took these unistruts is what it's called. They're like these steel rods with these adjusters in them. I'm trying to get a better look at that here so you can see. It's just kind of like a bolt system that we put together, and it's connected to the frame back there, if you can see that, which is really nice. It's a very sturdy bed. And then we just got a sponge foam mattress that was cut out to fit. And yeah, Mom, do you want to show them your beautiful handy dandy closet?
My closet that has all my clothes, and
yeah,
just folds down. And I have a little wall fan.
Yep.
Over here.
Yes.
And I have a light, so I can have a light over here. And
as you can see,
Kitty
we have
has her little cabana.
Kitty cabana.
This is my lovely bed.
Yep. Which is very nice. And also we need our privacy, so we have different cloth fabrics for privacy when the doors are shut. We have tinted windows, but I mean, you can still see through, so this helps a lot with privacy and sleep. Over here we have our voltmeter, but right now we're not really using it because we've been doing pretty good. We're at 12.8, which is really great. So that's our voltmeter. It tells us how much power we have. All these back walls are insulated with blue denim, as well as 100% recycled plastic bottles, which is in this wall as well. And if you're looking for some very good siding that's going to cut down on your weight, I see a lot of vans that have like full-on floorboards everywhere. That's going to cost you an arm and a leg in gas. So what we did is we went to Lowe's and we got this kind of particle board stuff. It's very thin, And it's like pretty cheap paneling, and it works the same. It's lightweight. It's easy to cut and put into shapes without having to work with so much wood. And all you really need is a skill saw, and everything else is pretty much you're off to the races. Now, the hardest thing about building in here is the lines. As you can see, this is not a square van, so everything is round in here. So it's very hard to get everything accurate and made right. So we had a carpenter help us with this, which made all the difference. Now, one thing I forgot to mention about our pop-up top is that these latches here, they connect up to the ceiling there. So if I wanted to, I could take all my bedding out and I can latch this to the ceiling, and then I can have about 10 feet of headroom in here. So I can walk all the way down, and then even this one back here can be flipped up onto that top section, so you can walk all the way back here with all that extra space, which is what I really, really like. Let's go over the electrical. We have a 3,000 watt inverter down here, and of course, just because I'm so feisty, I brought a fire extinguisher just in case. This inverter is connected to those 3 AGM car batteries underneath here, and that way we are always on an off-grid kind of power setup. On the top of the van, see if I can even get up here, but on the top of the van, who am I thinking? We have two 250 watt solar panels. That's powering everything in here. Now, the great thing about it is that it's on a setup to where, like, if I turn on the vehicle, it charges everything. If the sun's not shining, all I have to do is turn on the vehicle and it just charges all those batteries and recycles everything, which is great because my mother has a CPAP machine that she uses in the back. So we need to have that extra wattage for her so she can sleep. I got the widest step ladders I could because I was thinking about my mother trying to get in this thing when we first bought it. This wasn't here. So she had to climb up on her hands and knees on here to get up because it's such a big van. And we also took the handle from the refrigerator and we just bolted it here. So you can grab this and pull yourself up to get into the van, which is really, really nice. That makes all the difference. We also have a Fiamma awning that comes all the way out. We even made it to where it brackets to the van itself, so you don't have to deal with any tent spikes or anything like that. And to the exterior, we have our BF Goodrich tires, the nice Method racing wheels. These things are great. The only problem is I'm rubbing, so anytime I turn, it's like it's pretty crazy. And just because I'm worried about people running into me, I gave the van a nice pretty little mustache. I think it's called a bull bar to be exact, which is pretty nice. And we've yet to use this totally. We used it in a couple scenarios, but I got a 50-inch LCD or LED light bar up there. We had a custom fabricated on there, which is pretty dope. That way, it's pretty nice, especially when you're on those trails and you're looking to find some place to park. That's pretty great. We also have this kind of overhang section so we can put our shoes and things like this, which is really, really nice. We've used this a lot for our shoes. And my favorite part, the swivel bike rack. A lot of people put their bikes in the van. We didn't have that luxury, so we've got this swivel set up here, which is really nice. It's very easy to use. And this is our storage area back here. So everything is kind of limited on storage back here, but that's okay. We don't have that much stuff. We weren't planning on being here for the rest of our lives. So this was plenty of space for us. We have all our cleaning supplies. Now this is my favorite cleaning tool, if I can get it out. I hate sweeping and mopping, so oh yeah. That's how I clean the floors in here, which takes about 30 seconds, which is amazing. This is where the cat stays usually when we're driving, or if it's too hot out, she comes down here because we know it's cooler down here. This is all our spare clothes. I have all my winter gear in here, as well as extra bike helmets and shoes and things like that. We need to have way more stuff in here, so we have downsized quite a bit. We have our med cabinet, which is extremely important. And then we have our toolbox for emergencies, our chairs, umbrellas, miscellaneous things like that. And even have bike pumps and shovels, bike locks, things of that nature. And we even have some lights back here, so if it's dark out, We can see everything. I also have my fishing tackle box, the fly rod pole in here as well. This is going to the toilet. This is our spare peat moss and stuff like that. So plenty of room down here, depending on how you build everything. And our laundry goes right over here as well. We don't want to be smelling any of that, so it comes back down here and becomes padding for the cat, basically. And the great thing about this Mercedes Sprinter van is the ability to have the doors come all the way out like this, which is really cool. So you just grab this, this folds out like that, and it's got this little bumper on it so it doesn't hurt the van. And it just comes back like that. Bink. And I'm gonna shut it, Mom, so watch your face.
Okay.
I'm gonna shut the van on your face. Which is great. Oh, you know it. And then this is a cool part. So it's just got this little latch. And you just you undo that latch there. And then you just slide it back. Bink. Bink. Just like that. The great thing about having your bikes out here, especially if you have a really nice bike, is you want to make sure it's locked. So this bike rack came with a locking mechanism on it. So you don't have to worry about anybody stealing it, which is really great. The only problem with this bike rack is that it sticks out like quite a bit. So if it sticks out like that, I mean, I'm basically just as long as the 170. So this van is the 2016 Mercedes Sprinter 2500 four-wheel drive, which we've only had to use one time so far. And it's the 144 size, so it can still fit in a parking lot, which is really, really nice. And it's really fun to drive. My mom can drive it. It's easy to maneuver around, and so far so good. We've been in this thing for since June, so quite a while. Well, almost 5-6 months. We also have this little tiny stool, which comes in handy. You want something like this in your van, so you can put your feet up. So if I'm sitting here on the swivel seat, I have something to put my feet on, which is really, really nice. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much our van. I think I covered just about everything in here. Would I recommend this life for people looking to escape the rent trap and things like that? It depends on your budget. Everything's going to be dependent on your budget. My mother is very fortunate, and I'm very fortunate. She retired and she wanted to put up a little bit more money for doing something like this. So, Mom, would you mind if I tell them a little bit about the prices that we've spent? Okay. Well, we got this one at E&M Motors in Boise, Idaho for $70,000, which was really, really great because that company, they went to Sportsmobile to add this top on, and then they added on the rims and tires. And I don't think they added anything else other than that. I'm trying to think about it. Yeah, they added the awning. So we added everything else in here, and I think we spent around like 14 extra in converting this thing. If you do it yourself, it's 1,000 times cheaper than trying to go through like sink vans or outside vans, because their conversions start at like $50,000 to convert a van. I mean, if you have the money to do that, great, that's awesome. But we didn't. We wanted to try to save as much money as we could. Some things that we both agreed that we didn't want to skimp on was the toilet. We wanted a nice toilet. We didn't want a cheap toilet. So our toilet was like $1,000, but that toilet's the best on the market. It's going to last a lifetime. And so far, it's been very, very easy to use and maintain, which is really, really nice, because those are the kinds of things I don't like skimping on. I did skimp a little on the heater. Most people go with like the Wabasco heater, which got a full-on thermostat and stuff like that. We went with a cheaper one, but it does just fine. It does perfect. So some things you're going to want to skimp on, some things you're not going to skimp on. If I was going to do this again, I would buy maybe more of a used van, a cheaper van, and spend more money on the inside, converting it, making it nicer. But I'm very, very satisfied with this setup because it fits both of us very well. And it came with some really nice lighting system as well. So that to me, I'm not an electrician, so that was great having all of this stuff there. So if you can find a van that already has some stuff done to it, more power to you. It's going to be less money on your behalf to trick it out. But you got to think to yourself, how long am I going to live like this? Right? Am I trying to live like this for 2-3 years? You're going to want something really comfortable. Because this, I can tell you now, after a while can get very, very uncomfortable. Even having all of this space in here to move around and cook and stuff, I have to maneuver myself through here to get through the whole entire van. That being said, we went with a really good floor. Like, we went with a marmoleum floor, and it's a lapis lazuli color, which is, I love this color. And we wanted to make sure that it was going to last us a lifetime. So we went with something really solid for the floor. Nothing's insulated on the floor, so we didn't do any of that kind of stuff. But so far, so good for us. I mean, this has been the best setup that we could have asked for in the long run. And I'm seeing this become more and more of a trend with people who are my age or people who are trying to escape rent. At the end of the day, you still have car payments. You still have oil changes. This is a diesel, so we have to every now and then put that blue DEF fluid in there, and that can get exhausting and annoying, but that's fine. I mean, it's whatever. If you're going to go with an older van that's like, you know, a couple $1,000s, just be prepared to pay a little bit more up front for all that maintenance and stuff like that. As long as you can get a working van going, you're going to escape a lot of prices to, like, with rent and things like that. Also common, get a bike. Get some way where you can park it so you're not having to spend an arm and a leg driving it everywhere to go to the gas station, to go to the stores and things like that. You can park it and ride your bike places, and that's far more convenient, especially if you're really trying to save more money. That being said, another thing that can really, like I said in the beginning of this video, eat at your cost is eating out. Like I said, my mom's retired. She wants to go eat out in restaurants. I'm not going to stop her. More power to her. We're going to go have some nice restaurants and meals and things like that. But if you're not doing that, think about how much storage space you're going to need for food. Then the next thing you got to think about is durability. I've seen some pretty stupid vans online. I'm like, how are you living in that? I hope you're not going off-road in that thing, because that looks terrifying. Like knives hanging on the side of the wall kind of stuff. Like, what? Think about how this thing is going to stand up to road vibration. I'm just going to give you an example. We've been in this for 6-7 months now. So far, the only thing that's really broken is, you know, very, very small things like this is broken, and that's about it, you know. And then very small things like the magnets here coming off the side of the door. That's about it for us. We did a really good job of making this thing extremely sturdy. And for the most part, that's it, guys. This is our van life. It's not for everybody. And especially for short people. It's probably more recommended for short people. If you're really tall, make sure you get a high roof. We weren't going to go with a high roof because I didn't want to deal with the high winds. I didn't want to deal with the extra logistics of not being able to park in a parking space. That's highly inconvenient to me. So find something that suits your needs, and happy hunting. Make sure you find the van that fits you. Make sure it's unique and it fits your lifestyle and what you're wanting to do. It seems to be the way that America's going right now, trying to escape the crazy, crazy housing market and things like this. And if you're a young person and you're just trying to get a little more freedom and you want to go travel around, make sure you got a van that's going to be able to get you to those places reliably. The last thing you want to do is go out on some nice trail in Colorado miles away from town and have your van break down. So go out there and study each van. We went with the Mercedes because it's durable. It's a very durable van. This one is a unibody frame, so it's going to be welded to the chassis. The whole van is welded to the chassis. The engine and trans is it's set to last 500,000 miles. So that sold us there. And this is a 3.6 liter V6 diesel. So it's got a lot of power to it as well, which is really great. Trying to think about anything else here. Oh yeah, so like just for instance, like the Dodge ProMaster, the chassis is made by Fiat. So the chassis and the axles and stuff are crap. So if you're trying to like deck out a the whole Dodge Ram vehicle to go off and do some off-roading, you're gonna run into some problems eventually. So know what you're buying and why you're buying it. If you're not trying to go off-road and do all these crazy things, then heck, go with the Dodge ProMaster. It's gonna be cheaper. It's gonna fit your budget. Make sure you're a little more educated on each vehicle. Go out there on YouTube, compare people's stuff, spend months looking at how people did things. This is what we did. We spent 6 months building this thing. So we took our time and made sure we got everything planned out how we wanted to make it. That's it, guys. Anything you want to add, Mom?
Other than it's been a great life, and I really have enjoyed the traveling that we've had to do. It's been challenging without having a home base to go back to, and just, this is it. So it's been a learning experience, a challenge, and for the most part, quite a fun adventure.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. What was your favorite place that we've been so far?
Probably Olympic National Park in Washington State.
Yeah.
Between that and Colorado,
Yeah.
those are my two faves, along with Arizona. I mean, that's why we chose Arizona to live. Arizona is beautiful. There's so many different kinds of geography here, from high mountains in Flagstaff with pine trees to the Sonoran Desert and the Red Rock Country. It's just, we live in a beautiful country.
Yeah.
And it's been an amazing experience that we've been able to see pretty much every state in the West.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been an awesome adventure.
Oh, tell them about the times we've been popped by the popo. That's a good point. We haven't covered that yet. Parking.
Yeah, finding a place to sleep at night, that's probably for us the biggest challenge, because we don't want to spend money in an RV resort every night. And Jake's been really good about finding free little places to go. And there have been a few times, not very many, but a few times where we've been woken up in the middle of the night and have someone like
Las
a
Vegas
police or a security guard come up to your window and say, "Hey, you got to move. You can't stay here." So that's probably the most inconvenient part.
Yep.
Is finding a place to sleep.
Yep. And that concludes the Van Gogh tour of our van. I literally can't think of anything else other than the Orgonite. I'm making Orgonite, you guys. Look at this fancy stuff. I'm a nerd. All right, peace. Peace.